I think it's possible actually for Dippy and them to win this. Their ret DH is really, really scary. Because they PV really, really well. They've been farming everyone in war games. Very different than how Renar and them were playing it, because they were playing it with a Druid. I don't think Druids are that good right now. Our Druids, that is. Boomkin obviously is still like broken, but honestly, I thought this was gonna be Rogue Boomy versus Red DH. I've seen them play this Rogue DK stuff on ladder all the time, but it doesn't seem like that good. They do go good scoreboard damage and stuff, but I'm just seeing a sub rogue is not viable right now. You can get like rank 1 maybe on it if you like play off stream and like do short sessions. And you're like really selective with your Qs, but it's not that good of a spec. Every spec in the game does double subs damage. Outlaws is better. Yeah, let me look at Trill's gear. Barassa. Let me see if he's doing anything different. Only 2-piece. He is doing the wafting devotion enchant. Weird. I think a lot of people do that enchant. People are in 5. He doesn't really have anything to recover, but I mean, he still has cheat death. Guardian in 30. I think they all just top off it. Next Essence breaks in 10. Next Incarn's in a minute. They won't have Cloak for that next Incarn in 1 minute. May as well have IBF back though, and they'll have Guardian back. So it'll just be like an Incarn for Guardian and Angel, and maybe IBF. Best way to climb right now is sub. Don't play sub is literally the best advice I can give you. 3.4 is kind of high in shuffle right now. Like 2.5 to 2.6 is like top of shuffle. Sub is just not a hard carry spec in shuffle. You just do all of your CC and you hope the team doesn't break it or waste all your stun DRs. And then you hope that they overlap all their defensives or like pop stuff on non-blades so that you have a window to play the game. But if they just only use CDs when you have blades, you can't kill anything ever. And even then, even with blades on a non-orc, you can't kill a sub. Like, just play Outlaw and it'll be better. Have good gear, though, and focus on your micro CC and just be a worse version of Outlaw, I guess. He goes for that without it being in Zoldyck range, so it didn't do that much of a Kingsbane. I mean, he is kind of dying, though. Yeah, all he has is defensive vanish. He holds it, though. He's just losing hard on mana. Because Existence is 20 million damage above everyone. I thought they nerfed DH XD. Wonder if they switched to just Rogue DH instead of Rogue DK. I don't know, I think Rogue Boomy was fine into this, but... Actually, they might triple die. They're almost in bleed execute range. If Trill doesn't die in the next couple globals, because Cedu's completely new. I wish I could see stun DRs, but I think... Yeah, they're fine. Or Mastery tops him with a couple big heals. He's still running from the fear. Thunderstorm Cedu away from the fear. Gets stunned by Mez. Cedu's still not going to make it over there for the fear. As long as Dippy doesn't just die in bear, he does have renewal. He uses renewal and skin. Should be okay. Actually, he's just dying through bear, renewal, and skin. And Existence kind of getting a little low, but... Only 30% damp. Both healers are starting to go. I think Trill dies this global. Cheat Death actually works for once. Into the real micro stun, but the AoE blind peels everyone. I think this is gonna be a cross kill. I think Existence. Oh, never mind. I thought Existence and Trill were both gonna die, but like bleed execute. But I don't know how much longer the angel form has. It just expired because you have infinite mana in the angel form. So, but yeah, it's hard to top him in that much dampening. Got a prime coming. I appreciate it, man. Right, now it's gonna be Rogue Boomy versus. They're gonna switch comps to Red DH because they know they're gonna. Team just gonna switch comps. Celestia, thanks for the red, man. Think they're bored of winning? No, they'll switch to Rogue Boomy, but I actually think Zhang and them actually could win this. I called it before the series, before they even locked in Rogue DK. because they've been farming everyone in war games. Their red DH with KZ Fox is really scary. His existence is like one of the most damaging DHs. What is he even playing on gear? Let me look. Reverse the gems. Furious boots. I wonder if Snowball would be good on DH. Compared to Mastery Embellishment and Furious, since you have so much Mastery. The normal spec, but still just taking screenshots for later. I think Liquid can run it back as Rogue Boomy. If Zhang and them don't switch to red DH, but I don't know. They're staying DH Boomy until they lose. Is Sudo going to change? You see Arshim? I mean, Arshim isn't meta. Arshims are not that good right now. Unless you're playing like some double shaman thing. Like Ellie DH Arshaman is not bad, but for the most time, I think Dragon is just better than Shaman. Same with Holy Priest. They lock in the Rogue DK again. That's troll. But I guess DH Boomy is really good into Rogue Boomy. So I get that they feel like they have to YOLO. I usually feel like Rogue Boomy actually loses the DH Boomy. I think DH just does way more damage than Rogue. It's not even close. Outlaw has some of the worst damage in the game right now. Compared to like the crazy classes like DH and Booming and Ellie and Arcane and like if people play well, you should be like 10 million behind like the real DPS. But like you still have like crazy CC where like if you're Waz, you still just go undefeated even if you don't win on damage. That's why RMP feels kind of better than most of the comps you can play because like it makes more sense on how to win while not doing damage in terms of like how the setups look. Because if you just try to go toe to toe in a pad war, you usually don't win. I guess they're just gonna try to play more pillar and do grip goes and just grip whoever they want to go. If they want to do that, maybe they should have done a shaman mirror just to like avoid precog clones, and then maybe they could static someone out of LOS to like set up the grip. But I knew shaman is way worse mana than holy priest, and even with a holy priest, they still lost on mana. So yeah, because the DH is just doing double everyone's damage. Right now, Mez is actually 1 million in the lead from existence, but first minute, you know, it hasn't really ramped up yet. Doing a lot more pressure into saying though. There's the it's blinded on the ascendants. Dippy has no renewal. He's just having to sit bare a lot. Maybe he can farm some precogs and just clone everything real quick. It's pre-kicked. I don't know what that darkness was. Oh, Trill just randomly exploding. It blinked for a second, man. How you doing, B-Make? Trying to keep some ladder later? Or did you drink again? Just because I asked you. I don't know if I had time to keep. I get it. If you want to keep later in the week, let me know. This is definitely doing a lot more damage this game than the last one. He's not like 15 mil behind. He's only 3 mil behind. I-beam go way before the essence breaks off CD. That's kind of weird. Gonna get no value from that I-beam. Oh, it's because he has a real meta anyway. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, why is he willing to do that? He's just like kind of retreating on this meta, and then he gets gripped into stun. I do think playing Disarm into DH actually isn't that bad too. I think he's playing Smoke Bomb, Hemo, and forget his third honor talent. Smoke Bomb, Hemo, and Tricks, yeah. That's pretty solid too, yeah. Oh, that was pretty one-sided. Maybe I don't take the shuffle because this is a good series. That's kind of how Asa is, where it just you get the Fatty Kingsbane into the bleed execute. Oh, take shuffle, keep watch, take shuffle. I don't know if I have enough time anymore. 4 seconds. You guys got to decide in 4 seconds. All right, no one voted. Serious goal. I would draw my vote as I play. Well, I mean, the queue already expired. You get 3 seconds to vote. Okay. That was like a 30-minute queue. Queue another one because copium, it'll pop after the series is over when they take like 10 minutes between series. You know, it's gonna line up perfectly. It's called like a Eureka Ergonomics, like the brand. But yeah, all my stuff's got like the mesh, kind of like a Herman Miller, but then it's still kind of gamer cherry, which is nice. Kind of like a. Because usually the Herman Millers kind of hurt me with my posture. Well, they actually are switching to the Rogue Boomy for their blind pick. That's smart. Now I think we're gonna see the red DH come out. Sunsil Pump has comp advantage, and their red DH does crazy damage, and they're pretty immortal because it's pretty hard to die on a red outlaw. This plate is insane. Oh, they're still doing DH Boomy. Okay, I do think DH Boomy beats Rogue Boomy. Yeah, they're right. I think if anything, they should be playing the red DH into the Rogue DK, and then playing the DH Boomy into Rogue Boomy. Yeah. But their red DH has been farming everyone. I don't know why they don't just throw it out. Yeah, I do think DH Boomy is really good into Rook Boomy. Because the DH should be 10 million or more damage ahead of the Outlaw. I do think Dragon might give them an advantage on mana. I know Zhang also has Dragon. I'm surprised they don't just play DH Boomy with a Dragon, to be honest. I mean, I guess if their war games have been going well with Shaman. I mean, I guess in Boomy versus Boomy, Shaman is really good. Because you can just ground the precogs. But mana is just so important in tournament games, more than ladder games. There's another walk. It is a 3-minute for a 2-minute, so the next incarn he won't have another walk, but maybe he'll have Trinket Blur next incarn or something. Play an incap off that or something, or a lasso. Oh, there's the root beam instead. Cheap shot into sleep. Nope. Waste his DH fear when the rogue got boomied or cloned. Weirdo. He does a lot of these essence breaks with no meta because he doesn't like time it with his eye beam. It's weird. I mean, that was what's wrong with my DH. I'd always like try to make it in line up instead of just using it on CD. How far are y'all now? We lost in top 8 already. We had to fight Cubsy right away, which is like one of the top 3 teams. Oh, Sam just randomly exploding. I mean, right now, mana's kind of even though dragon should be winning on mana. Sam's actually not that scared. He still has renewal. Both boomies have renewal. They're pretty safe. Bash on him. Drink another walk. And it was Incarn, yeah. Dippy randomly dying. Did use the renewal. No skin. Can his own Incarn kind of get some counter pressure? Sam's just getting 2-shot? Yep. 2-1. I mean, Troll is still within 7 million of a DH. It's pretty impressive. Keep playing on Outlaw. Still probably tricks, right? Tricks haste. He's doing double Sophic though. He's not doing the Shadow Flame ring and shit. I don't think it's actually needed. And it fucks up your gouges a lot. I think Shadow Flame's not good, even though Wes is running it. Like, you could still probably use the ring as just like a free way to get a crit ring. Since there's not going to be as many crafted pieces this season. If it's shorter, but... On the target dummy or on player? Because I don't see that on players. Yeah, still overtuned? Yeah, I mean... There was the other game where he was 20 million up on everyone. Like on game 1 or whatever. We're already out, but we got top 8. It's not even the uptime, it's just the value of each global and how many things are multi-hitting at the same time of just passives. Like their gap closer hits for like 150k, and Maladora is just always hitting. They have a good dots passively baked into their rotation. Yeah, red is just a range class prop pally. It's sad that just damage is just so king. I'm excited for Kata. I want CC and stuff to just matter. I honestly don't know the name of the brand that me and my girlfriend get at Costco, but we buy it in bulk at Costco, like multiple bags, and then we have these like airtight sealed containers that like keep it from going stale for a lot longer. And then we just kind of portion it in those, and then we kind of dip it out when we need it. We don't do that much wet food, and then the treats are pretty standard with like sometimes the squeeze ups, but like usually like greenies or something healthier. But Costco's always worth it. Not even just like for the hot dogs and stuff, but like saves you so much in the long run. Even though nowadays in this economy, even like $200 at Costco is not that much groceries. Cedar Team Liquid, yeah. I think that is a better approach to just train shaman. They're just counter zugging. Oh no, he's gonna get the clone. I don't think he does too soon, especially with the renewal. But and he just can't even get in range to use the sim if he did. But I don't even think he simmed that. Pearl just dying through cloak. At least he didn't have to evade too. But it's top with one Serenity. Guardian does not proc, so it's gonna be a 1 minute CD. I think he's fine with the dark. Oh, he has to link too. Oh, that's crazy. I thought the darkness was enough. Then should AoE top all of them. They have a big incarn push in 40. Random off kidney for CC. Oh no, they actually are going. It's just getting soloed. There's the AMS. Evasion from Drill. Defensive of 68. Or like the grippy hands. They bombed them. That's what I was trying to say. Not 68. Or mages. RMP is really good right now, actually. If you're Wes. Outlaw Arcane RMP is pretty good. Rogue Boomy is definitely better, but I think DH Boomy is better than Rogue Boomy. I think Windwalker also is like sleeper, one of the best melee once they get their 4 set. And on EU, Outlaw Windwalker is very popular. 2-2. That's close. I think the Rogue DK does seem a lot better for them though than Rogue Boomy. Just the random Kingsbane bleeds execute, you know? feel like everyone stacked all game. I didn't feel like that bomb was that much. But I guess it was just the off stun into the Garrote. He didn't have dance for this either, right? I guess he vanished for the Master Assassin. I actually, it happened kind of fast. Like in the replay, right? And the fear. It's just a random gouge, right? Yeah, there's just the Kingsbane, yeah. Without dance or meld. That was a YOLO Kingsbane. I don't think he had any Master Assassin or anything. I don't even think I crit. Someone was so close to the bomb too. That's pretty like desperation because they're all dying. I'm surprised Cheat Death didn't proc right there when he went to like 1% before the fear. Yeah, he has no way to even get Master Assassin on it. And he's like 2 feet away from it. But yeah, he just needed to pre-blur before the smoke bomb even. We should have just been like, I'm off stun DR, I'm gonna pre-blur. I mean, I'm trying to like add a little bit more of like, but it could be like actually shot calling better. I think I have like 70, but like I could easily go down to like 40. They've pruned the game quite a bit. Like on DH, it's an absurdly low number compared to Rogue. I have like no Shadow Step teammates and stuff like that. I don't know why they're not playing their ret DH, but now it's kind of scary to pull it out at match point. I mean, there's a lot of autopilot. Seeing Naj DH next week, my DH is not ready now. I think I have most of my binds like listed. I mean, we tried, yeah. At the end of the day, like the top 4 teams are the top 4 teams for like the last like 5 years. I switch teams like every season, and we're not practicing that much, and we're playing alts. But I do think Ellie Shaman should beat Mage really, really hard. It's only just funny when people just only stare at details and be like, "Oh, you got damage gap in 1 game," where it was just like my uptime was non-existent because I was overly swapping on hots because that's what my team wanted to do. They wanted to religiously just overly RP walk to whoever doesn't have hots to just try to them faster. But sometimes you just have to farm CDR where you can get it. Because if you go into the druid, you're just gonna get roar cloned or something. I mean, that's generally how it always is. LE is greater than mage. It's been that way for a long time. But we just don't have any practice on it. And I also don't think if he's like 10 million up and we shut the mage down really well, don't think we should be losing on mana, even if they kill Mana Tide. But I don't know how we set up a drink of our own, so. I think it's just I have to do more pad damage so that like defensive damage, I don't know. We did a good job of shutting down their ARs, we just didn't do as good of a job of stopping me from getting set up on mine. Because his adrenaline rush was always coming up like a minute before mine. Sorry, the auto ad went off during it. Should have timed it more during the downtime. I didn't realize. Got low profile. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we had some good stops on drinks. Some good steps. On damage wise, we got distance doubling trill, DH diff. CD wise, trades are going good. Mana's pretty even. Why did they pick Prez over no mage priest? Prez is better, I think, than priest for Rogue Boomy. Rogue Boomy priest doesn't have as much energy. I'm not gonna take the shuffle. I don't. This match point. I wish I could see the clone DRs because that's like everything of timing how like things are gonna swing back and forth and who they're going, but mana wise is still even. Trill is playing Spree. Interesting. I usually don't think Spree is good. Maybe they just really want to try to have like a win con. I mean, I think he can greed this still. He's not using Healing Tide, or is the UI broken? He's in Earthern with Wall. I think he should have been fine, yeah. That's just huge balls to like not greed. Okay, now he presses the Healing Tide. Sam is just dying randomly. There's the rescue. That's like a 500k shield. DH actually breaks it. Should be a bunch of micro CCs ready for the healer, because I think he does have like in cap and stun. Oh, the death sweep just misses. There's the bash. They're gonna probably clone him low and then try to switch it to the healer. Oh. The DH is gonna be stuck back here for a while. He's probably gonna get recloned into like a root. This is the downside of ever trying to move in against the druid. Into a mass entangle. Into his stuns. He hasn't played for like the last 30 seconds. Because druids are fun. Love instacast mass entangle. Flies the beam. Huge. There's the clone on Trill. Sam's kind of just taking it through skin. No, he tops himself. That wasn't renewal. That was just a big heal from C2. His renewal in 30. So mana is still kind of even though it's 20% damp. DH has Trinket, Netherwalk, Blair in 20. Dippy has renewal. And then Zhang will have wall really soon, but he has Ascendance to make it to wall. So I don't think Lepump's in any danger for the next minute and a half, 2 minutes. This is just like waiting for 20% more damp, or for one of the boomies to just one-shot through CDs with Incarn. Like the big moment is going to be when either of them pulled the trigger on Incarn. Both boomies have it available, but they're kind of just waiting till they get like a good clone or a good beam. C2 gets clone trying to sleep Zhang. And they did pop Incarn with this. And then Sam is running away on his Incarn and trying to clone with his Incarn, so he's losing a lot of DPS here. He hasn't gotten to play with most of his Incarn yet. He gets a clone now. Now he's going to finally get to play the game. Yeah, Zhang has Link, Wall, Ascendance, everything. Sam still has Renewal, if the skin isn't enough, but the skin is definitely more than enough. They use Emerald and skin. He did Trinket aggro, I think. But yeah, he has no Trinket, no Darkness, no Netherwalk, no Blair. So Existence can potentially die. But there's no Incarns to kill him for 2 minutes. And then he'll have Trinket everything back by then. Actually, Sam could just die here, yeah. Actually, he has Renewal. He's fine. There's the Renewal. Pops himself. He's still... yeah. If he didn't peel Existence here, I think could have been scary, but... This is probably just an Ascendance soon, if they start rotting. But right now, only 2 of them are rotting, not all 3. Big Fire Breath Purge. Doesn't do that much, but... Clone's dipping low. On damage, Trill is doing half the damage of Existence in them. That is the Outlaw Curse. But, you know, they could still randomly kill at any point. Because Existence has no Trinket for 10, and even when he does have Trinket, he has nothing to pair it with. He is on Stun DR though, so him getting clone low doesn't matter that much. There's the Reclone. He's trying to switch the clone to C2. There's the Nullifying, so I think he's... Big Purge. Cheap shot onto Zhang, they're going him. He walls. He didn't Trinket. He has Link. He's just... Everyone's kind of far. The DH is really far from him. Dippy might want to be a little closer for the Link, just in case. But here's the big DH pump. Sam has no renewal. He does have Heart of the Wild, though. There's the Heart of the Wild. Gonna give him double Frenzied regen, so he can just lay on hands himself, basically. C2's actually kind of ahead on mana, even though... That is, just Shamans have worse mana than Dragon. Even though the other team is doing twice as much damage. He does still have Link here. Existence has Netherwalk and Darkness, but no Trinket. Probably just gonna backflip here. Trill still has Evasion and Defensive Vanish. Sam's kind of dying through Heart of the Wild. He has Skin in 1. He has Skin back. As long as Trill doesn't die in this lasso, he has Vanish. There's AR. He's probably gonna have to just Vanish aggro for damage, though. There's the Vanish aggro for damage. Outlaw has to just send it on CD. So now really all he has defensively is Evasion. Stuff's finally happening because it's 40% dampening, just like I predicted 20% damp ago. Is dampen Kata? I don't think so. Random one shot onto Sam. Crazy Barkskin while stunned, you know? Incap's Trill low is like a mini cycle, and he trinkets aggro to go on Existence. No trinket on Existence. He does have Netherwalk, but there is a gap in the stuns. He does have pre-blur. Will he just not pre-blur again when he comes off stun tier? I think it's not bad to like pre-blur once he comes off stun tier if he's tracking it. That'll give him the right amount of time he needs to be able to. Oh, he did pre-blur. That was smart. Because he has Trinket Netherwalk in 10 seconds. There's the backflip on the attempted stun by Trill. And the pre-darkness. Perfect. He might get knocked out of it. He doesn't. There's a really good pre-darkness because now he has Trinket Netherwalk back. This should be a really big push though because it's still big meta and Incarn. And Sam has nothing. Actually, he has Renewal and Skin. But I think Sam's actually fine. Dippy's actually dead. Through Heart of the Wild and Skin. Actually, Trill's dying too. Trill has Cloak in 5. There's the Spree. There's the Bash on Trill. Clone Sea-Doo. And he restun DR Lasso. They trade clones. I think Trill's actually fine. Sea-Doo is bone dry But the stun DRs are coming up, so Trill's going to CC everything. But Trill might just die right here in the next couple globals. It might be a cross kill. Because Dippy's going to die, but I think Existence will kill Trill. Actually, no. Okay. That didn't go the way I thought it was, but either way. Mana decides the game. Deep dampening. I think Dragon is way better for Rogue Boomy than Priest. Not even remotely close when I play it. How much damage was Existence at? Was it like 43 million to like 20 million something? Nerf DH? I mean, they've been nerfed a lot already, but yeah. I think Windwalker can do more damage than DH too. But yeah, DH Boomy is the only thing that can beat Rogue Boomy, I feel like. Because they just do way more damage. But I just don't know why Zhang isn't playing Dragon for the mirror. It is nice to be able to ground like precog clones, but I mean, he still managed to win on mana. I guess maybe they're not killing enough mana tides or something. I actually wasn't paying attention to mana tide. But I don't think Shaman should be beating Dragon on mana, even if the DH does double everyone's damage. Yeah, towards the end, it's 40 million to 23 million. 40. Oh, Dippy actually was top damage at the end of this. Crazy because like damage feels lower than season 3, but everyone has so much health. Like on Outlaw, I have like 1.7 million health. Yeah, we lost already because we fought Cubsy. Yeah, Zhang is really good. Yeah, 47 mil to 25 mil. Yeah, 22 million above Trill. Real class right there. It's on a new team. No. They've been together for a while. Like they play together in season 3. Usually they play rec comps with KZ Fox. Like they play a lot of like ret DH and stuff. Like usually they play melee cleaves with ret. Go to the bathroom real quick. How'd you go about nerfing Boomy? We are back. Watch party? Kind of, yeah. More just me doing my own commentary, but yeah. And then eventually I'll maybe do some shuffles in between the games if the keys pop conveniently. Whenever there's downtime. But yeah. I'm gonna probably do some threes after or some viewer twos or whatever I got. Yeah, we were top 8, but we're already out. I'm not a bird. Do some Dragon Outlaw twos? We could maybe do that, yeah. Normal to be lowest damage is Outlaw? Yeah. Rogue doesn't scale well with gear. Only Asset can do damage if it gets perfect AoE against bad players. But like, for the most part, you're never gonna do damage on a Rogue. Compared to like Demon Hunters and Windwalkers and Boomies and Devastation and Arcane and Ellie. Like all the pad specs will always do way more damage than you. Ret. Tournaments in Classic? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I'm not 100% sure. So who's playing next? Because we're playing against Cleave Comps. Be really good at like peeling, like disarm the Warbreakers and like Stun and gouge eye beam so they don't get their essence break off. There's AWC prediction. I mean, top 4 is completely different every week. It's hard to predict top 4, but Cubsy's team, Siege's team, Pika's team, and Calvish's team have been like the top 4 teams for a really, really long time. Pretty hard to break into that. Void GG is Calvish's team. But yeah, I got some I would put my money on. Honestly, it's really, really hard to call it. It's just gambling on the brackets. If I open the bracket, right? Like if I had to do a quick take, right? Void GG versus the move. I think the move actually can beat Void GG, even though Calvish is insane. Maybe. I think Le Pump actually can beat the move. So Le Pump in the finals. And then I think Liquid will beat Power Frogs. And I think they will beat Unitos. So I think it'll be a Liquid. And then it depends on it if the move beats Liquid in the losers bracket. Or Calvish in the losers bracket. I mean, they've been farming everyone in War Games. But yeah, my prediction, I could be completely wrong. But just going off gut feeling, I think somehow the move takes Void GG. I don't know if their Rogue Boomy is ready. And I think Rogue Shadow Priest can beat Rogue Mage. I don't know what they're gonna play, to be honest. Maybe they have some crazy shit. And I think Le Pump can beat the move. So both of these go to the losers bracket. I think Unitos definitely falls off. I think, like I said, I think Liquid beats that. And I think Liquid climbs through losers, and I think it's a rematch of this series, actually. Unless the move beats Liquid in losers somehow. I don't know. That's my complete madman take. It's not what I would normally predict. Yeah, Shadow Priest is not that great right now. But generally, Shadow Priest only loses to Warriors, and Warriors aren't that great right now either. So their kind of natural predator is missing. But in general, Rogue Shadow Priest is only really good into Rogue Mage. Why do you think CD doesn't utilize Mez more? I mean, the thing that you have to keep in mind with the tournaments is that match 1 on Nagrand is the most important match because that is a blind pick. So you lock in what you're going to pick to the admins like 10 minutes before you play. And then you can't, like, you know, you're locked into what you told the admins you were going to play. So round 1 is gambling. But the way it works is the loser gets comp advantage. So outside of the blind pick. So if you win game 1 and you start the series 1-0, every time you lose, you get to pick the winning comp. So you just take turns countering each other, and then when it's match point, you have comp advantage. So if it's like 1-0, then they pick a counter comp, and then it's 1-1, and then you pick a counter comp, and then it's 2-1, and then they pick a counter comp, and now it's 2-2, and then you pick a counter comp, and then it's 3-2, and you win the series. So like winning the blind pick is like really, really important. And in general, CD was only or Mez was only helping them in that other matchup. So that's why they defaulted back to Rogue Boomy. But in general, I don't think Rogue Boomy into DH Boomy is a good matchup whenever I play it either. Like, I can beat the bad ones on ladder, but Existence is like one of the only good Boomies, or DHs, I mean, him and MVQ. Like, they just do so much damage. I would have liked to see them play like Rogue DH randomly instead of Rogue DK maybe. Something even crazier curveball that I have no idea if they've practiced or not. They probably haven't. But I'm also surprised the Pump didn't pull out their Ret DH, because their Ret DH has also been farming everyone. But yeah. I think in general, Sam, like the easy answer outside of the counter comping example is that Sam and Trill are much better than Mez is. Like no flame on Mez. It's just Sam is like the heart of their team. It's nothing like on Mez, you know, because I'm also in my 30s now. But I think it's mostly just the oceanic ping, right? At least he used to be oceanic, or did he move? I have no idea. Thought he was. Alright, so we have we got Outlaw Windwalker. Okay, this changes things. This comp is really popular on EU, and no one's been playing it on NA. I think Void GG is going to do really well, actually. If they're playing this, they actually probably get top 2 or top 3. I changed my prediction. I thought they were going to play Rogue Boomy, even though Rogue Boomy's not that insane. I mean, it is, but like it's definitely better than my Rogue Boomy, but this comp is insane pumper comp. I think they might win the whole thing with this, honestly. The move as a brand. I think the tournament admins just make an icon for you if you don't have one. I think they just made it themselves for fun a long time ago, and they've just kept it for years. So yeah, we have Calvish also playing Spree. I usually don't like playing Spree. Is there anything different with this gear also? Calv is not playing Shadow Flame Wreath. He's playing Double Sophic. Spree. Snowball. Pretty standard build, yeah. No rush setup. He's playing more mobility focused. You have a favorite team? I mean, before my money was actually on Le Pump versus Sea-Doo in rematch in the finals through the loose. The move picked up Sralium, like one of the best mages NA from Rain's team when they dissolved. So they've been playing some RMP now lately. And it's been going pretty good for them. I think in general, Rogue Shadow Priest is nicer now that Warriors aren't as popular, because Warriors beat Shadow Priests, but I do think this comp is insane. It's crazy right now is Wiz is actually ahead of Nick on damage. I did not predict that. Usually whenever I see anyone play Outlaw Windwalker, the Rogue is like double everyone, like even more than a DH. I think the move is just doing really well and shutting him down though. He's also like had his Zwen out for a while and hasn't Serenity'd with it. I think his Zwen's gonna end soon if he doesn't go. Let me look at his gear. Let me look at Nick's gear. 4 set, everything but helmet. He's using NG goggles with Versa. He's using some weird pole arm thing. Definitely really high Versa. Dude. Well, that's kind of smart. He's using. I'll show it after the match. But Nick is using Shadow Flame boots that hurt himself for like an embellishment with it to proc the fire damage ring, rather than using the Shadow Flame Wreath enchant. I think he has to do that because he wants to have Sophic because he's using a two-handed weapon right now. Because he's using some weird PvE weapon. Because most people, if they want the ring to proc, because you have to do fire damage, they end up using like a Shadow Flame Wreath enchant instead of Sophic to proc the rings. But the rings don't do that much. I've seen a lot of people playing without the rings too. Like Waz was playing with it, but I know Calvish and a few people aren't because it fucks over your gouges. But yeah, right now Peekaboo is playing with Shadow Flame Wreath too. I don't think you could do what Nick is doing on a rogue because rogues really like this snowball embellishment thing, and that takes both your embellishment slots. But the Shadow Flame thing would be nice too, because it wouldn't be a dot; it would be instant damage as long as it doesn't AoE break CC. Does 80k 2 to 3 times a minute? What, the ring? I've had games where it's 4% of my dam or higher. It's definitely better for specs that actually just naturally do fire damage, that don't want to use a shittier enchant. Like, it does more damage than the snowball embellishment. Silken Lining in PvP? Most people play Silken Lining, yeah. If you're gonna go agility boots. But Outlaw tends to go the snowball. The belt and bracers. Even though that's like an RNG 2 to 5% damage. It just does a lot of free healing. For Outlaw being a dampener PV spec. But honestly, you do a lot less burst not having like more agility on a between the eyes window. And it also sucks to like wait for 2 embellishments to have an embellishment. So most people tend to do the mastery helmet first, or just like a helmet first in general. It's like the most stats. But I think tournament games are also just played very differently than a ladder game. Like mastery, embellishment, and infurious boots are way more fun for like a ladder game where you're just smurfing on people. Snowball is like way more just passive damp, more extra healing. Yeah, Kearney could die in this DR lasso into silence. A really low HP, lay on hands himself basically with just one big serenity. Everyone is rotting. Karma's in 15. Kalish is nowhere ever near dying. It's really just Kearney's mana bar that's going to be an issue, but Sturge is also kind of boom. Disperse in 15. Pika is very healthy. Calvish is very healthy. This is just going to be a mana angle. Wiz has Disperse coming back up. I think really the only person that can die right now is maybe Nick. Or maybe randomly Kearney dying in another DR stun silence like it was before. Because he got low pretty much last time. There's his trinket. Maybe next stun DR something can happen. That was a big serenity. They didn't get WizK's Disperse though, because Rogue just heals all of his serenity, and he got feared on it too. So, I mean, it looks like Kearney is going to go before Sturge. Especially because he's playing Dwarf Priest. Which I think is still good, even though Pika is not on Asa. Because he could still get a silence with it, I guess, late game. And it's still free damage reduction too. Could see, since it's not a Boomy where you don't need Gnome. I mean, I guess he could go Will the Forsaken. But I think Nick's dead here. I think Dwarf is fine though. I was gonna say maybe a meld drink could be useful or something, but that's not why they lost, so. They're just bone dry though. Let us know. Yeah, Asa you definitely tend to go Blue Silken Lining, and Inferious Boots. But yeah, if I pull over the AWC thing real quick, he's got Shadow Flame Boots rather than Enchant to proc the ring. Like, that's probably because he's just not dual wielding 2-weapon enchants. How does Sophic work with a 2-hander class? Like, does it just still count as one Sophic? Because I feel like dual wielding weapons will always be better than having a 2H, right? Have 2 Sophics. Because 1800 agility versus 900 is a really big deal. But maybe this weapon is doing crazy damage. I can't see his damage breakdown if it's good or not. I mean, imagine that's probably nerfed by more than half in Arena, probably. So, I'll use 2.5 minute CD to do 60k damage. I mean, I guess it's more controllable burst if it's like off global. That might still be more than that. Like a 2H with Sophic doesn't count as 2 Sophics, right? Kind of why I liked when weapon chains used to exist for disarms. Then it was more balanced for a 2H having the same weapon enchant as 2 1-handers. Wait, is it actually? No, there's no way. Yeah, most outlaws tend to play this snowball. But it's not that great. Like if I look at damage, 2% of dazed damage. I had good RNG, I guess I did 4% of mine, or maybe it's just I did less damage. His did 300k and 5 hits. Mine did 11 hits. Yeah, I had way better snowball RNG. But for 2 embellishments, it's not that much. But if I look at healing done, it did, well, that's why it did 700k healing for him, and it did 300k healing for me. So mine was just casting damage more often than his, I think, because they were all kind of top from Druid Hots. But it's just extra free healing and free damage, but it costs both your embellishments. Yeah, most people like Waz and stuff have been playing Shadow Flame Wreath on the offhand to be able to proc the ring to do damage. But it can fuck over your gouge because it's a dot. But the way Nick's doing it, it's not a dot. So it's kind of smart. But I also think the agility on Inferious Boots is really good. But at the same time, if you're playing around a rogue who's doing the setups for you, you're not always committing your CC when you're actually bursting, because the rogue probably did all the CC for you. I mean, I guess you can try to time it around your incap, but there's going to be times where just doing a good incap throughout the game is going to like waste your Inferious. So I do think this kind of makes sense compared to just doing like 2 mastery embellishments. But who knows? Honestly, Windwalker Mastery is pretty good. Like 2 mastery embellishments might be good too, regardless of the ring, because the ring is only usually like 4% free pad. I don't think Daze was using the ring, or he wasn't using a fire damage to proc it. Yeah, I hope it's only like the last seasons too. At least you can get it really easily. Because if you're above 2100, you get aspect crests, which are like the mythic rating / mythic plus 16 upgrade tokens. And it's been that way for season 3 and season 2. And then if you need to trade them down, you just go to this NPC over here after you do a quest. And you can just turn aspect ones into whatever you need and like just trade them all down. And then to actually get the individual item you want, instead of vaults, you do LFR, which there's a cap right now. You can only get 2 booleans right now, but like there's a catch-up mechanic where you can get both of them in 1 week. And then you can just buy the ring with the booleans from LFR. And what's really good is to get... This ring is really good if you like mastery. But if you're going to play outlaw, you want this ring. That's crit burst. And high versa at that. But maybe instead of mastery embellishment, I would still keep Infurious Boots. And I would just recraft my helm to have Shadow Flame on my rogue if anything. I mean, that's the fragments to upgrade it though, right? You get the boolean really easily from just doing LFR. Like 1 or 2 bosses. Thanks for saying thanks. Right back a sec. Gotta get him water. Right in the nick of time. Yeah, at the end of the day, the ring is like a slight couple percent tournament optimization. You can get rank 1 without it. Most PvPers aren't even gonna know that that exists. Most people didn't even know you could like get aspect crests, even if they had like 700 of them in season 3. Like no one knew you could just craft a verse mastery dagger. I had to have someone even explain it to me, and I'm sweaty. Like midway through season 3, they're like, "Yeah, you can just go craft a mastery dagger," and I was like, "Really? I don't have to go do Mythic Plus again, like season 2?" Because I mean, they didn't really document it that well that you even got more rewards in season 3 from PvP. But at least in season 4, they're just doing away with vaults in general, which is good for the game. Now that we're getting through the opener, the game's kind of starting a little bit. Big Void Torrent. You did Barkskin that. There's the big clone on Sturge. I think they should stick on the Rogue Windwalker. I kind of jinxed them by saying they win the whole thing since they have the comp. He does have no disperse for 2 minutes. They still do have swap and almost all of Sturge's CDs though. So they're not going to be in danger anytime soon. Definitely going to need like 20-30% more damp for stuff to kind of get hectic, but yeah, Calvish is still not playing Shadow Flame Wreath in the offhand. I guess he just really wants to have clean gouges. Honestly, with a Boomy, you definitely can play it, just because everyone's going to be tab, Moonfired, and Sunfired anyway, so you can't really gouge that well with a Boomy anyway. Honestly, I haven't really done that many keys to know if it was good or bad. So. I think in general, keys are just overly gatekept anyway, but people only wanting to play the meta, even in a casual 16. They can be doable drunk while clicking. People will still gatekeep. So it's like if you just don't get your IO literally on like day 4, you just don't get an invite. He does have disperse back. Can he greet it? I think he can. DR Bash, yeah, he still holds the D. That's good. I'm not gonna need to renewal or anything more. Skin is just enough. Doesn't even have to Heart of the Wild. Giga lands a kick. Wiz might need to disperse kind of. I mean, the big moment that's gonna happen is the next incarn in about 40. Who played Asa on Dalaran? Yeah, he played a couple games of Asa Death Knight. That's huge for Kern. Especially because they have Angel Form in 20. This is the big Wiz K-pop right now, though. He has Ascension. Will he get a massive one-shot offer? I mean, right now, Wiz is pretty ahead on damage. 14 mil above Pika. 12 mil above Calvish. Is this live? It is, yeah. Sorry, I spaced out and didn't see it. I was like more focused on the game. Yeah, this is still Incarn for a little bit. Sucks that they didn't really get anything with this. And Wiz has Disperse coming up in 10. Like that Incarn kind of needed to kill because that was like the one moment he doesn't have Disperse. All just gets peeled. Next going in for a clone on Sturge. Can he fake Shear and Ground? He gets Totem abducted far away. Probably a silence off that. There's the Void Torrent. Actually, doesn't have silence for 20. Mana-wise is pretty even. We're kind of waiting for 40-50% damp for the game to start. I don't know. I think Static Totem is a good addition. I think it's pretty fun. It's definitely a playmaker ability. I like giving healers more ways to try to win game rather than just giving them slower paced stamina changes and lower trinket and more throughput. Like this AWC is right now. We're watching it live. We were playing in it too. We were top 8, but we lost to Cubsy and the really strong team. I'd rather healers have more ways to win games. I think like totem moving someone behind a pillar and stunning them, lining their healer or something is fun. I just think playmakery abilities should just be shorter CDs so that they're more interactive and more important. Like Burrow could be a 30-second CD and you can outplay a kidney by like burrowing it or something. You can bring back like spectral guys or something. Give healing priests like silence back or something. Whatever just makes people actually go in and do things. I think mana games or any game that goes over 5 minutes is just an objective failure. I think dampening also needs a rework. It just needs to be that damage and healing gets faster and faster until it's kind of sudden deathy. Where you're just getting lay on hands then one shot after instead of like 40% dampening. Because dampening affects the healers more than the DPS and it's just boring. Like waiting for a game to start when healers are just so overtuned to like try to balance around dampening. Like the tiebreaker should make the game feel faster, not that someone's just getting choked out every game. Usually doing press and release stuff is really bad, actually. A random one shot, okay. That wasn't even Incarn. And it wasn't even Spree. And he had Link and Earthen. But yeah, that's just a setting in the game called press. Or is it in advanced interface options? Combat. Cast on key down versus key up. So like you'd be able to just do like yeah, if I hold down like Shift D, yeah, it doesn't go off till I let go. I don't think that's generally good. It adds a little bit of like input lag even if you're instant. Even if you're holding down a mouse button the whole game and letting go when you want to kick, that's still the same thing as pressing the button instantly. There's just like extra input lag on that. It's like really bad. Like back in the day, on key up was the actual default, and you needed an add-on to make it on key down. And that's what people used to get snowfall key press, the thing that gives the little flashy animation. People used to get this add-on purposely to have it be on key press. Because in general, there's just like more input lag. Even if you're holding onto the mouse button and letting go. Also, like, what if your hands are really stretched? You have to do a certain combination of like 4 different buttons at the same time or something. Where you want to do, like, obviously Subroke's not good, but let's say you have to do like dance, cloak, cheap shot, duel all at the same time. And you press all these things. Then you accidentally let go of that mouse button and you kick air and you give them precog. Maybe it works for him. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's tournament players that play without target arena 1-2-3 and tab target. Like Jamili tab targets. Are you tab targeted? You know, I think Peekaboo tab targets too, right? I think, you know, there are optimizations that people can improve on, but it can work for them. But it can objectively still be wrong. Just because people can make it work anyway doesn't mean it's right. In season 3, my bad, dude. Keep press on light up. I just moused over it. It's called J button flash. Arena 1-3 better than focus. I think having a smooth focus and target bind is really important. What's better rogue on here? They're both good. Generally, I see Calvish do the fanciest shit, but Pika's also really, really good. Think Silken is worth it? All the AWC rogues right now are playing Snowball for Outlaw, but yeah. I don't think that's a hot take. I think it's a hot take. I'm not going to take the shuffle. I think that's a very hot take. That's as bad as like the Asmongold take of put all the CC on the same DR. I think the default UI just needs to be way better so people don't need weak auras. And there just needs to be more interactive abilities and less PvE pad Diablo abilities. There just needs to be a full-on, not 3 honor talents, there needs to be a full-on PvP talent tree that's completely separated from the PvE talent tree. And the base UI needs to basically be close to what my UI is, minus the weak auras and Omnibar. But like S Arena should be the default arena frames. And big debuffs should be baseline. And I also think there should be like a base key, a recommended keybind set for noobs that make it easier to learn their keybinds. Where it's just like these are the default arena targeting binds or focus binds. With tab enemy player being the default tab. Like you can trim my binds in half and have it be like a good starting point for people and have like, this is the recommended focus 1, 2, 3 binds. These are the recommended 3 focus CC binds. Kind of, you know, because like if you look at League of Legends, you might say, oh, it's just like 4 abilities of QWER, and then I guess your summoners, so 6 abilities. But in reality, you're also sometimes people macro camera location hotkeys or a bunch of different types of pings, their item slots, and you can still get League almost up to 30 keybinds. And at the end of the day, like there are like kind of defaulty keybinds that are good for certain people. And I think a lot of people just get used to really shitty keybinds. But there's good ways to like let people be less overwhelmed. Because a lot of people have it so overly complicated where it's like F is this spell, but then on focus it's shift 5, and then like Z is this spell, and then shift E it's focus, you know, and it's just like you're used to that as your bind. But if you kind of have a noob go into it where they're just like, okay, shift QWE are my focus CCs, that makes sense. You know, like, and then like, oh, QWE are the normal CCs or something. And I think that's something like Plunderstorm kind of did really well. I mean, my keybinds are kind of like the example I said of what are cursed. Because for me, like 1 is cheap shot, but shift 3 is focus cheap shot. That's just what my binds are used to. From back in the day, not wanting to lose my combo points because I didn't really do focus cheap shot that much. And then it's like 4 is kidney, but shift W is focus kidney. You know, instead of just like 4, shift 4. Q, shift Q. Like, but I think like having a standard keybind set is really good for noobs getting into the game. And I think it's a really good take on what Skill Capped is doing. They're making Bodify, the guy that made my Better Blizz Plates and Frames add-on, well, his own add-on, but he just, you know, let me give him ideas and made a knowledge profile button. But he's a warlock I do a lot of VR2s with. He's making an add-on for Skill Capped where they were like commissioning him to help him make an add-on. And basically it sets up all of your UI for you for like noobs. Where it's like it'll just like set up how you want, like the best way to set up Gladius, the best way to set up Omnibar. And like it's like an add-on to set up your add-ons, rather for people that just don't know how to like import a save variables folder and shit. And I think a lot of things like that really do help with like barrier to entry. Because a lot of people get really overwhelmed with setting up keybinds and stuff. Yeah, okay, we're dampening is starting. The game's gonna start soon. We got Perny's massively ahead on mana. Rogues are pretty even on damage. Wiz is 8 million up on Nick. And yet they're still losing on mana. Because Holy Priest is just a much better spec than Shaman. I mean, the thing that pisses me off about it kind of is that I was so excited for edit mode because I thought it was going to fix the base UI, and then edit mode made you need even more add-ons to fix how bad edit mode was. I would love to go down to like 4 add-ons, you know? But I think the way that weak auras are is just a failure of class design. Because if there was more actual interacting with each other with between abilities, then weak auras would just be late information of, oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it? If the game wasn't just such a game of Pong of just reacting back and forth, weak auras would be infinitely less valuable. They would be a good tool for like predicting what's about to happen in a combo, but yeah, Trickster is really weak aura heavy. So is Fatebound. So because they finally put Fatebound out a couple days ago, and I was looking at that last night, and I'm not excited for it. Deathstalker is the only hope left, but that's really bad for Outlaw because Outlaw is Fatebound and Trickster, and both of them were dog shit. Like just clunky weak aura, billions of little random procs. So that's 2 out of 3 of them that I hate. But Sub and Asa still have a chance. The Deathstalker might be fun, maybe. There's the swap. Nick has renewal in 1 second. He should be okay. He doesn't have to use it. He's fine. He has skin in 10. He's going to pre-bear the stun right here. He's just going to sit and bear a little bit. He comes out of bear. Here's the mind games. He's going to re-bear the static totem. He's getting stunned next global probably. He's just waiting. There's the bash into clone on Pika. Is it going to get stopped? He tries to fake the shear. He does not fake it. There's the random kidney on Sturge. He's trying to clone Sturge, but he just gets knocked back. Now he's going back into casting instance. He jumps in to try to clone Sturge half off of the fear. He's really trying to fake Pika's step kick, but he's just not biting. He goes bear because he knows he's about to get stunned. Tries to knock him back. Wiz is fine. He has Disperse. Pika's got Cloak coming up in 30. So he'll have Cloak for that next Incarn interaction in about a minute. My problem is I would still space out casting all the time. And I would need a much better tournament UI to actually know what's going on. Like maybe they get a better UI from like actually spectating in the game. I'm not sure. But if they have to use the same spectator client that the stream sees, it's unfortunate. Because they don't get to see DRs or buffs and debuffs, really. And half the important spells aren't even tracked. Like the old school Kata Mop tournament spectator client was so good. The one that like the Russians made or whatever. Because it had a full-on Trophy GCD of what people were casting too. And you could see their buffs and debuffs. It was kind of overwhelming, but like I think it was better than just streamlining it into random little shields and people being on fire. You think you could heal? If I wanted to, yeah. Galv is just taking it. Maybe he's going to do a defensive killing spree. Score is still 1-1. Sturge is completely That mana lead is kind of classed it up. I wonder if they lose this game if they're going to switch to RMP. Sturge is close to bone dry. And I don't think Nick is anywhere near dying because he's going to have a big renewal. Also, this is a big Incarn push from them, so the game is starting. 40% damp Incarn. There's the link. No Disperse from Sturge, or from Wiz. I mean, they kind of randomly did that, okay. I didn't think he would die through renewal there. I thought he would renewal, and then he would have Trinket skin back. They had such a mana lead, there's no way they'd throw that. I mean, they're kind of trying to play for the 2v3, but there's no way. Wiz has... Actually, he has no Disperse for 40. It's possible, but it's pretty low. Oh, I think they blinded Rogue and broke it there, didn't they? Yeah. So they broke the blind. They're pulling a my team strat. Yeah, SP damage is crazy. They're pretty good at randomly 40-0ing people with like Catharsis and like 200k Shadow Word Pains and big mind spikes. Even if you do play really well around Ascension, the damage is pretty nuts. Also, SP, their natural predator of just losing to warriors is gone because warriors aren't that good right now. Because every SP is a gaslighter, but like at the same time, it also isn't that flexible. Like usually, warlock is kind of better than SP. I mean, same with DH. DH is like doing double everyone's damn. Everyone just loves to cry about Rogue, even when it's always last on damage. Rogue did not scale well with gear this season at all. Yet it's still like the most popular class in tournaments because all the tournament players are rogues. And it takes a lot for them to get off of the class. But I think Calvish is a really good multi-classer. Same with Nick. So like they're capable of it for the most part. But I think a lot of the rogues are kind of like the team captain of their team kind of thing. Like I don't think you're going to see WizK, Seralium, Godcomp putting Pika on the bench, you know, anytime soon. Maybe next expansion, but there even is an AWC next expansion, or if people are just, you know, not playing Kata or something. The thing is, like, everyone knows how to play against a rogue, but nobody knows how to play with a rogue. And you feel that the most in Shuffle. All the SPs just stay stunned instead of short silence, and everyone wastes your DRs and shit. Like, Shuffle is a fiesta, man. Even if you spoon feed and you, like, have, like, pings macroed into things for people and all that, and you tell them in chat what you want to do, like, most people just want to PvE and parse and do a Mythic Plus dungeon. Like, Rogue Shuffle is, like, actual CIA black site torture. Yeah, we got top 8, but we lost to Cubsy. I mean, DH is a lot easier than Rogue to play, but yeah. Elo Hell is real on any class, though. Because Shuffle is so carried by healers now. Because it's usually like a healer that's 200 points higher than the other healer just to make the Q pop. And it's just, you know, oh, this class gets countered by that one and the other one doesn't. Or it's just like, oh, this H-Pal really annoyed the Asa Rogue or something, and then the other guy didn't really do anything. And it's a lot of times just a healer 6-0. They've been playing a lot of RMP lately. I think they might actually mix it up. If they had lost that game. But now they're ahead, so they're going to probably just stay with Rogue SP since it's 2-1. Yeah, I've had so many red double dragon lobbies where it's just like, okay. Zico ever play retail? I don't think so. I mean, he used to. I think the last time he like actually played like high rated retail arenas, I think was like Legion on like fucking Waz's like initial come up with like. But maybe he played a little bit in Shadowlands too. Maybe. I mean, I know they were YOLO playing some meme like 2K RMP with Hydra and PS Hero or something. When the Wrath ended. But yeah, maybe he played a little bit of Shadowlands, but I don't think he plays that much generally. I don't blame him though. Mage is not what it used to be for him. I mean, in general, representation's not always that accurate. Some people have just been playing the same class for years, whether it's meta or not, kind of. That's why AWC has always just been really, really rogue heavy. But like, I don't think Outlaw is like the most broken melee right now. I would say like DH is better and Windwalker is better. But Outlaw, Windwalker is really good, and I would say RMP is really good. And Rogue Boomy obviously is good into certain matchups, but you can't play into everything. Like if you saw Siege games, like I think DH Boomy does beat Rogue Boomy. And I think in general, DH Boomy is just a better version of Rogue Boomy. I think it just does more damage, and you get a lot of synergy together because the Boomy crit buff helps DH a lot. Like it buffs a lot of their bullshit magic damage. Time of day also matters, Drain. Try to play only at like prime time and try to leapfrog. As in like play an ult till it passes your main, then play your main till it passes your ult. And then only play at like prime time. Because if you try to play early in the day or super late at night, the matchmaking system does a worse job at making a match. So you'll kind of get more likely one healer that dominates the other healer. Because it just needs to make the Q pop. And it kind of just gives up on waiting forever. Repeat leapfrogging? Yeah, so you play an ult of the same class until it passes your main. And then play your main until it passes your ult. Especially if you're going to play Asarug. Because it's like gambling on how many paladins and dragons you get. So just have like 2 Asarugs. And then be like, oh, I got a non-paladin dragon lobby 2 times in a row. Hell yeah. And then you log on the other rogue. Oh, fuck, I lost to a paladin. Oh, I got 3 non-paladin lobbies. Now I passed my ult. You know, and then you just keep doing that over and over again. That was the old Zaryu method back in the day too, with how he used to push. And it helps some people with like ladder anxiety too, because you're not at fear of tanking. Because you're essentially always ulting at that point. But it helps with just how RNG shuffle is, because like what classes you're fighting kind of dictate the lobby a lot. Because there's no emphasis on match quality. Like there's no, you know, every comp has Mortal Strike, melee range healer, best of 1, where you're not just losing to someone getting win traded on 6 times, or like it'd be way harder to win trade in like a best of 1 system, and then on top of that there would just be a lot more fair things with comps. There'd be a lot more CC in the game that way too, where it's not like 1 melee walking at 3 casters, or 3 melee training a caster into the ground. Or just 4 melee, just circle jerking in the middle. Oh, this is still patch... Is it technically 10.3? Or is it 10.27? I forget. But it's season 4. It's the faded raid patch. .27, yeah. It's weird that it's a new season, but it didn't go to 10.3. I feel like they should have just still called it 10.3. Even though I guess 10.3 is going to be the pre-patch for... At 22% damp. Mana is actually even this time for Kearney versus Sturge. Wiz is only 10 million damage up, not double everyone's damage. Yeah, the Tournament Realm gives you full gear. Everyone's full 528. Outlaw has like 1.75 million health. And damage is like still lower than Season 3. It's a much slower paced game. Yeah, Wiz has Disperse. Sturge has pretty much everything but Link and Healing Tide. Well, no, he pretty much only has Wall and NS. He's missing most of what he has. Pika's healthy. Wiz has Disperse. Sturge is pretty healthy. Nick doesn't have Skin or Renewal. Calv's pretty tanky. Kearney has Swap and Guardian. I don't really think anyone's at pressure of anything really happening for a minute. But this is Dark Ascension from Wiz, so he's going to do a lot of damage. This is his big cooldown window. So he could maybe hit a couple 100k. Especially if they can get on Kearney with like a stun, DR Lasso, Silence or something, which is what they're looking for. There's the Dispel VT into a Kidney. Nick's just camping the bear, knowing he's about to get stunned. He tries to just bash clone Pika on their go. Tries to go for the reclone, but he steps away from it. There's the gouge onto Sturge. They're just running at Wiz. They might get a disperse here with this clone. Clone and the killing spree. The killing spree gets the disperse. There's the blind on Kearney. I don't know if he can sap it. I don't think so. Yeah, he can't. I think it broke to something randomly too. There's the clone on Pika. Can't tell if that's on his adrenaline rush or not. I mean, it probably is. It isn't. I mean, they're going to get money regardless because they're going to be in the top 4 or whatever. There's a lot of the points from Season 3 carried over. It wasn't like a full reset. Oh, that was a crazy one shot through the swap. And then there's the... Now they're on to Nick. No skin, out of bear. Wiz is a little vulnerable because this is still an incarn push with no disperse available. There's the defensive silence. Sturge is completely And it's also adrenaline rush. There's the killing spree. Wiz has dispersed in 20. No link from Sturge. All he has is this ascendance. But that should still bridge the gap. He should get topped. And Calvish is just randomly dying. Gouge just Pika off of him. Kearney is completely bone dry. There's the kidney on Pika out of the gouge. Into a disarm probably if he has it. Another DR cheap. There's the fear on Calv. It's probably not going to break on damage because fears are bullshit. He grapples away 2 feet. He should die here. He disarms him aggro. Big push. The Void Torrent. He should die. Holy, that was crazy. I don't know how that Void Torrent didn't kill. I mean, both healers are just bone dry. But Calvus should die this goal. He has no cheat. Yeah. So there's the 3-1. Pretty much what I kind of predicted originally, but I think they should have kept on the Outlaw Windwalker, honestly, the whole way through and just Hail Married it. Why is he running Killing Spree? I don't know. Trill was also kind of playing it too, but Windwalker Outlaw is really, really popular on EU. I mean, in general, it's funny, like, with AWC viewers and stuff, rage about is, like, details is really, really inaccurate, too. There's a lot of, like, healing abilities that just count as damage on details. So, like, the only thing that's truly accurate is the end scoreboard screen, where it subtracts a lot of the fake pet damage, and subtracts healing cooldowns that function as damage. Like, a lot of times, like, Hand of Sacrifice or Time Dilation and stuff like that give you a gigantic damage lead on details that you don't actually have. Like, there's a lot of times where it'll say someone's like 4 million up, and then the scoreboard will happen, and you're even. The same with like a lot of pet classes, where their pets don't properly count on details. Where you'll be playing like a 2s game against the BM Hunter, and it'll be like, oh, I'm at 12 million damage, and he's at 5 million. And then the game ends, and he's at like 30 million, and you're at like 20 million. And it's like, oh, I thought I was doubling his damage. He was doubling mine. But yeah, you can't always look at details. Not that accurate. You're going to finals? That's what I predicted, kind of. But 90% mastery is pretty possible as Outlaw. So I think Void runs over Unitas. I think Liquid narrowly beats Power Frogs, maybe. Actually, maybe Power Frogs can beat Liquid. It's possible. I think they're still going to send RMD. And I think RMD can beat Rogue Boomy. And it can beat the Rogue Death Knight. And that seems like that's all the Trill in them are playing. But I think Le Pump will actually beat the move. And I think Void GG beats Unitas. And then I think Liquid can beat Power Frogs on mana because they're playing Dragon. And then I think Liquid can maybe beat Void GG. And then it's just a rematch of the move and Void GG. Or Liquid, I guess. The move in Liquid. And I think Liquid could beat the move. As like the Rogue DK bullshit. And then I think it's a rematch of Le Pump and Liquid and the losers. Finals are tomorrow. But I think they're finishing out who top 4 is. So I think we'll still see Void GG and Liquid play one more game, I think. Yeah, let me look again at Wizards here. Yeah, I mean, my prediction is Liquid versus the Pump rematch. But I think Le Pump can actually beat the move, especially with their like red DH and shit. I think that's pretty good into RMP and pretty good into RPS. I think Void GG runs over Unitas. I think Liquid and Power Frogs is the deciding one that's weird. But I can see how RMD can beat Rogue DK and can beat Rogue Boomy. But I also can see how Rogue Boomy with the Dragon can still beat RMD. I think Druids are pretty weak. So like my money is actually still kind of on Liquid, even though our comps couldn't make it work. And then like I said, it would be Liquid versus Void GG. I think Liquid can beat Void GG right now in terms of like a Rogue Boomy mirror. I don't see a lot of Kearney Dragon. And then it's the move versus Liquid. And I think Rogue Death Knight can beat RPS. I think it's Le Pump versus Sudo rematch. But you know, that's just my complete chaos Hail Mary. How you feel about today? I mean, we didn't have that much confidence going into it. We barely did any practice. We were playing alts. We were going to practice last night, and then the whole ban wave thing happened, and then we all went to bed after the ban wave thing. Where like half the PvPers got banned yesterday, and they got all overturned. Most people are unbanned now. But yeah. Need better teammates? Nah. I think Joxy's really good. I think Nozom's really good. Dopa has internet issues and shit, but you know. At least he's playing alts and stuff. I think we do well. I think it was just false flags on people. They like just falsely banned everyone for boosting that it wasn't even boosting. People that weren't even playing for years got banned. Yeah, it was just funny that it happened the night before AWC. Everyone was freaking out. But most of the bans already got overturned. But like Metaphors got banned, Jamili got banned, Vanguards got banned, and he works for Blizzard. Like they pretty much banned everyone. Somehow like me and Pico were like the only people not banned. And even though we do viewer twos, it's weird. Keep RPS? I think they will, but then I think they'll try to switch to RMP. But I don't think RMP beats... I think RMP can beat DH Moonkin, but I don't think it beats their red DH. I think the finals is going to be a rematch of Le Pump and Liquid. But anything can happen. That's just my Hail Mary. Yeah, we see the RMD again. Trill is playing Spree still. Weird. No Shadow Flame Wraith. He is double Sophic. He's playing pretty heavy verse mastery for his outlaw. That's kind of strange. I mean, it wasn't doing that much more damage. It just seems in general like outlaw does not scale that well with gear. Yeah, Dazed is also playing double Sophic. No Shadow Flame still. Yeah, I do think Rogue Boomy with the Dragon is much better than Rogue Boomy Shaman. So this is possible for them. Because Tuna will need to get multiple drinks. And Flame Breath is basically a Klepto while hitting for a couple 100k. So getting a nice little perma purge on a good Druid go is really good. And Dragon is going to have infinite mana, so like Tuna's going to have to drink multiple times. Doom will have to drink none. But this is going to go to like 40% dampening or more. But it is interesting how Trill is also playing Killing Spree. I don't think it's good. The blind off of the kidney. He's going to go back to sap that with grapple. He vanishes. Gets the sap. They're definitely focusing on the Cubsy regardless of HOTS. I was losing a lot of damage because my team wanted to like overly swap on HOTS, and my uptime was really low because of it one of the games. So I was just RP walking back and forth way too much. Or just trying to go Druid too much and getting Roar cloned when I walk over there, or just getting stunned by Rogue. The 2-foot grapple by Trill, that was kind of weird. He could have gone way further. Clone Rogue low. Big damage onto Cubsy. They're going to maybe swap the Rogue out of that clone, probably. Out of a reclone. Into just a mass entangle. One more clone, and then he's going to mass entangle. Yep, there's the insta-cast route. Dace hasn't touched anyone for like 20 seconds, and now he's going to get stunned. Still hasn't attacked anyone for a while. That's going to give... you can just see the cooldown reduction difference, where Trill's on his like second AR, and Troll just has AR back when Daze still has like 2 minutes on AR because he didn't play for like 2 minutes. Yeah, Dragon is a much better version of Rogue Boomy. But Joxy does not have Dragon ready, so. What's up, Pedro? How do you feel about Killing Spree? I don't think it's good. You lose so much cooldown reduction for it. And it didn't really scale with damage. It's still doing like 200k out of like 1.7 million. Yeah, I don't like Killing Spree at all. There's a reason why like Waz doesn't play it, Pika doesn't play it, I don't play it. I'm just surprised Trill's playing it. Usually he's kind of head on things. And Trill's also playing heavier Mastery right now. Why didn't you play Rogue Boomy with this team? We tried Rogue Boomy at the end. It's just we only have Rogue Boomy Shaman, not Rogue Boomy Dragon, and Dragon is very, very different. Shaman is a lot more defensive and a lot more capable of losing on mana. Like, we lost on mana even though we were like 20 million ahead with the double Shaman shit. But in general, Ellie should beat Mage. It's just we're not. We literally never played Ellie Rogue together once on ladder or even in war games. It was just kind of desperation because they were a better team than us. And yeah, RMP probably wasn't ready for it. What's up, Bevson? I was okay with just sending RMP though. My team wasn't though. I think we should have just sent RMP into RMD and just tried to play our best, but because in general we don't really have time to wargame or practice like the other teams. We're just kind of playing for fun. But Rogue Boomy is not that great unless we have a dragon. Like even playing on ladder with like Dippy and like Jawa, who's a Shadow Priest main, like re-rolling healer for fun. We're like undefeated as Rogue Boomy Dragon. Like it's just, and then I play Rogue Boomy Shaman, and I'm like struggle bust the whole time. Like we just don't have a win condition, and we lose on mana with this Shaman. Like Dragon can do the most damage of any healer, even more than Priest, and it also can just burst a couple 100k while also completely kleptoing all the hots. Yeah, I don't like Killing Spree that much. But maybe that was just a bad game for Days of Sucktime because he just did not get any of his adrenaline rush off. But like I said, my prediction is looking pretty accurate still, I think. I'll try that gear set later and see how much mastery. Yeah, there's a lot more inflation this season because they didn't reset it that much. You only went down a couple hundred MMR from last season. So like if you were like 2.9, you started at like over 2.5. Got your sleepy cat. That's gonna wake her up. That's kind of mean. There you go though. Feel bad waking her up though. Ah, she's happy. She's just crazy about blankets. We always joke that she has like a favorite between me and my girlfriend, but like it's really just whichever of us has the blanket is who she goes to for like being on the couch. She's like permanently a lap cat. She's like 8, so she's not really a kid. She's just kind of small. Big fuzzy blanket fan too. Yeah, that's why I just put the blanket on the chair. That's how I get her to come hang out with me on stream. It's just, she's like blanket. I don't know if you've seen all the emotes. Yeah. So we got 3 minutes in, 11% damp. Tuna is very behind on mana as expected. Dragons do have quite the mana lead. I think this is a 3-0 for Liquid, personally. I just wish we had a dragon if we were going to play Rook Boomy. I wonder if we could have played RPS ourselves, honestly. That would have been kind of cool. Since we only have Priest and Shaman. I wonder if Sea-Doo and then we're going to mix it up, though. Or, no, they don't need to, because Rook Boomy is working. I'm just surprised that Cubsy and them have been only like playing RMD. Because their fourth is Chun, right? I'm surprised they haven't been playing like Rogue Windwalker. But I guess Chun's been like playing too much mage and shit randomly. Weird for their team to have like 2 mages. Sea-Doo just cast and damage the whole game. He's almost out damaging Dazed. Sea-Doo is 4 million damage behind Dazed. Outlaw Rogue's almost 2 less damage than healers. It's just that Boomy passively peels so much more than a mage with like 3 clones and roots and stuff and just peeling his whole adrenaline rush. That's pretty one-sided though, yeah. I wonder if they'll switch comps. I don't think they will. But yeah, it's just night and different seeing Rogue Boomy played with a dragon versus a shaman. Like Sea-Doo is actually doing outlaw level damage. Because Outlaw just does not do any damage at all. It's such a rogue is like such a gimp class right now, actually, even though it's like really popular. Like your win con is just do good CC and 40+% dampening, and hope that they're Yeah, playing Druid into Dragon is just miserable. I have not been. I've just been playing ladder with different people. My team does not have this comp available. Dopa Boomy is like kinda ready, but we don't have a dragon. Joxy only plays priest and shaman. And we tried Rogue Boomy Shaman after Rogue Ellie didn't work, but yeah. Rogue Boomy Shaman is just not the same comp as Rogue Boomy Dragon. Because you're not playing triple DPS and your purges aren't as consistent. Like, yeah, you can ground precog clone, I guess. But at the same time, like, you just shouldn't be giving them precog. Dragon is really good. Dragon and Priest are by far the best healers. It's not even close. It's weird that there's so many Shamans on NA, because I don't think Shaman is that good right now. Yeah, Mop Monk was extra stupid compared to normal, because the Healing Monk had the thing where they got a free bubble every time they ever got stunned, ever. The dematerialized thing, and then they also had an extra trinket with Nimble Brew. Mop Monk was disgusting. Dudu actually did more burst in that than Trill did. Dudu is just doing more burst than both DPS every go. That's funny. I'm gonna clip that. No way that anyone ever plays Subrug. That's cap. Are you dare get us dragons nerfed? No, I just need to. I told my team. They keep not believing me and keep saying like Rogue Boomy Shaman works and no one plays it. What are the cons for Dragon Healer? So they have short range. They can't like max 40-yard range everything. And they suffer against rot sometimes. Because the way their mastery works is they want to be higher health than the person they're healing. So they kind of overextend a little bit. And if they almost get one shot, it's very hard for them to top their team. Yeah, because of their mastery, they want to like be high. But they have some of the craziest HPS, some of the craziest damage. And then they also have a pressing roar, which really increases CC chains. And their kick lockout is one of the longer kicks in the game, way longer than sheer, but it's a longer CD than sheer. But yeah, dragons are pretty insane. They also have like a lot of multiple CC immunities beyond nullifying, like flying can immune CC. Like it's good if you can like fly a stun or something. Because we've been in a perma PvE meta, and Trill is Mr. PvE. I'm surprised Trill hasn't just gone back to playing DH though. He probably will next week after how hard Existence gapped him on damage. Because DH versus Rogue was like 46 million versus like 20 million or something. So like, I don't know. Trill's always been good at DH too, because he does PvE and PvP. And Modern Arena is just PvE now. So like, yeah. I have, yeah. I've played both. But yeah, the perma PvE meta stuff makes me just not that excited to play War Within or the rest of this season. Like maybe I'll come back and get rank 1 or something. But once Kata comes out, I'm way more invested in Kata. Warriors aren't good in Kata, so I don't know what drugs you're on, but yeah. That's a Wrath thing. They'll just lose to like HPL Warrior with Shadowmourne and shit. But Kata's only bad if you can only play Warrior or Druid or HPL maybe, but there's a lot less RNG and a lot less PvE gear until the last season of Kata. And then even then it's only like the trinkets, maybe weapons. Whereas in Wrath it's almost 80% of your gear because it's just 20 item level higher to be a raider and then you just gem Brazil. But like the PvP off pieces like rings and belts and neck and stuff are viable in PvP in Kata. And you also have reforging, so you can still get expertise. Yeah, here we're seeing them switch to DH Windwalker. I think that's a lot smarter. I would have rather seen Rogue Windwalker than DH Windwalker, but I think they're just gonna run Sam over. This is crazy damage. I mean, he held his Heart of the Wild and his renewal there. Trill has no evasion or anything. Grapples over to CC Trill. He goes in, gets a precog, clones out of the cheap shot. He just still has Emerald Communion. Gun just randomly dying through Dampen Harm. That wasn't even Incarn. That was just random dragon damage, I think. The Kata DK is not that overpowered. It was like early Kata, like season 9, with like Feral DK and Rogue DK. Frost Death Knight with the instant hungry and cold. But we're playing the season 11 patch. It's not a progression server where every season is different. It's just the PvEers that hate Kata, because that's when PvE started getting mechanics. People like their vanilla zone out PvE where you spam 2 buttons and everyone's a winner. Like I remember in Kata, no one could do the dungeons. The dungeons were really hard for people even. For a long time. Yeah. The average negative APM 40-year-old vanilla player hates it. Because politics aren't the entire game. Shadow Priest comps than Kata. Rogue Shadow Priest 2s isn't that bad, but healer DPS is way better still. I don't know, it has a lot of quality of life improvements over Wrath in terms of just slightly less PvE gear. It still has too much. Any PvE gear is too much. But a lot less PvE gear than Wrath and a lot less RNG than Wrath. Because it's easier to get Spell Pen and Expertise. And there's no Sacred Cleansing in the game. It's just people really hate rogues. Yeah, I'm excited to play Gata. Priest comes for SP. Honestly, I can't think of any really besides Rogue SP. Alright, right back while there's downtime. Do you like cats? No, I just have a cat right here, yeah. How do I put up with her shit? In terms of core classes, the code is a little different between classic and retail. There's a couple changes. I've heard things that they might be like nerfing hunters in Kata with like how they abuse pet resummons and shit, but I don't know if that's actually gonna happen or not. Um, Shadow Meld is also much more OP on Classic than it used to be back in the day. I'd say the main changes are the fact that you never play progression servers, so every patch doesn't change. It's not like Fan of Knives interrupts people in season 6. Oh, now it's the patch of this. You know, it's just you play the season 8 patch in season 5. You know, you don't have season 5 Death Knights. You don't have Lightning Capacitor Trinket RMP. You know, you basically play season 8 in season 5, the whole expansion, in Wrath, and then in Kata you play season 11, the whole expansion. So you skip the Hungry and Cold Frost Death Knight setups with like Rogue DK and Feral DK in season 9. You just skip all of that. And then on top of that, you have OP retail meld in the spaghetti code, rather than classic meld that just sucked and was not viable because you had to stand. You just went stealth, but you couldn't move, and you just sat there for 6 seconds trying to get a re, rather than instantly dropping combat and having another vanish. So that also is like a little bit of a difference. And then in general, spell batching is also different. And what spell batching is the server lag that is allowed within the code of the game for multiple things to happen at the same time. This changed going into WAD, I want to say, or MOP. And basically got rid of a lot of the outplays of like, oh, I kicked Warstomp clone. Oh, I did the Recful 3 gouge on Blink. You know, will Blink gouge. You know, Shadow stepped the charge, and then like he bulled, you know, the other opposite side of the map. Odelay, you know. All of that kind of stuff is gone. No, you can still Vanish Blind in Wrath. But in Kata, Vanish is a completely different ability where the having immunity in stealth for like 2 seconds gets rid of the ability to Vanish immune. But like spell batching was just what let multiple abilities happen at the same time. That didn't happen in Wrath Classic or TBC Classic. They just went straight with the retail code where certain abilities just go in first and prevent the other ability. Like if a warrior presses charge, the millisecond they press charge, you're rooted before the warrior even gets to you. And you can't like shadow step it before you get charge stunned. So it kind of removes a lot of the flavor and timing and fun of the game. To just be like, oh, I pressed kick 99% into the Warstomp and lagged and my kick went off on the Warstomp clone. Because it ruins a lot of the flavor and interactions that are possible. I think timing is an important part of gaming. I think they should bring spell batching back to even retail. Because it made the game feel less laggy, even though it was more laggy. By nature. Yeah. But like that is the core differences in Classic to how it actually was 20 years ago, or like 15 years ago, or whatever. There's no spell batching. You play the end patch even in the beginning patch. It's just content coming out occasionally. And then and meld is. Like those are really the only changes, but those alone are pretty massive in that it already feels very different than how it used to play back in the day. Especially since the average player has improved times 100 from private servers. And how many people have weak auras even in like Wrath and stuff. And there's a lot of cheaters also in Wrath. With like people doing like rotation bots and shit. Best meant to be the best version? Yeah. That's just how they do it. So is this the last series of the day? Or do we have... Or are we also going to play Void GG versus Liquid after? I think it's going to end after this series, because that's top 4 for Sunday, right? I think this is gonna be pretty one-sided for Void GG, but what's the breathing? That's Supa? Sketching me out. It's very unnerving randomly. I don't know why. Yeah, we got Mage Lock, Priest with Demo Lock versus Rogue Boomy. Still Spree from Galvish. I think this is gonna be one-sided. I think you spelled Costco wrong. It was freaking me out. I couldn't see what you were trying to say. Yeah, Costco's always worth it, even if you just go for gas. Like, it's like 30 cents cheaper a gallon for gas there. And then being able to just have a whole meal out of like $1 hot dog and refill the drink a couple times is crazy. Yeah, all Costco's are pretty crowded, man. There's nothing like a Costco gas line where you wait 5 cars for like 20 minutes. But yeah, we got 10% damp. The game's kind of starting. We got no wall for Thug, but we also don't know if his Hellstone is off CD. I don't think he dropped combat, so I think it's perma grayed out. It just doesn't show us if he dropped combat long enough to restart the cooldown or not. I don't know if it's actually available. Nick's kind of dying through Bear, but he had to use Renewal there. He has Skin and 10. There's the precog. He's gonna maybe try to clone. Clone's a brew. I thought he was gonna try to clone Thug and then push in to switch it, but there's the kidney and he gets feared on the kidney clone on the healer. Now he gets to line that. He gets re-feared. It is weird to time angel forms for Kearney because there's not like a big thing that they're that scared of. I mean, I guess it's a Tyrant Go or like Veins or something, but there's no like Incarn holy, scary moment. I think they're just gonna win this the whole game. So. Yeah, there's a lot of them in Arizona. They're pretty. Almost any Costco I go to, even if I go a couple extra miles to like one that has specific items that my normal Costco doesn't have. Like if I want to get the Mexican Coke variety packs that have like Fanta and Sprite, then I have to go to a further away one. But pretty much any Costco, there's just cart traffic literally, where you're having to like wait to kind of even go through between the aisles and stuff. Because it's always so crowded. And then the one in Chandler is like the Asian Costco. I mean, there's just certain days that me and my girlfriend are off work. Sorry, I didn't commentate this game as much. There was like nothing happening. I'm just sitting there like, But it doesn't matter if I go like a Thursday morning or Sunday night. Well, night they close pretty early, but they're pretty much always busy. There's not as much plot lines in this matchup, really. It's just how much does Calvish get micro CC'd on AR? And Carney's mana bar if he gets good angel forms off. And I guess whenever there's Incarn. But from the Mage Lock perspective, there's like no plot lines at all. It's just like maybe everything in Tyrant's out. Or if a big Ray of Frost goes off, but yeah, normally I go Thursday or Sunday, like mornings. Yeah, later, James. There was a time where I went to like Costco too early before they even opened on accident. I thought they opened later. And there was still a lot of cars parked waiting for them to open. But like for the most part, it's crazy because I usually have to do laps around to even find parking. Only American thing? I don't think so. I always like see YouTube vids of people like trying Costco's in like other countries and stuff, I think. There's the beam as an interrupt. Still the big AR pub. Does do the dance before the vanish. Just holding onto this spree. I guess he's only trying to use it as a root break, maybe? I don't know. It would already be off CD by now if he just shoved it on the first go. Oh, there's the spree finally. Clones on mage. There's the observer. There's the kidney. There's the random bomb on lock. He just ports it. Kind of disrespectful to step bomb without the stun. It's not like a gouge. You can only do that kind of bomb if you kick him. It's really good to like kick a warlock and then bomb. Then they can't port, and then you can stun. Because if you just do a normal stun bomb, it's just gonna get gripped. What's he playing to even play smoke bomb? Let me see. He's playing haste, smoke bomb, no tricks. Interesting. Yeah, we've been happy for a couple of years. He just explodes. No, there's not as much to commentate in these games. It's just like that wasn't even incarn. It's just so one-sided. I'm like sitting here like waiting for 40% for the damp to like start the game, and then the game ends before the damp. Like the only game I've seen not be crazy damp. But there's like no action for it to actually feel fast-paced. It's so weird. Every other series I've been like commentating, but there's just not much to say. That's why I'm like more ranty on the Costco stuff. It's just like I don't know why they're trying to play Mage Lock into this. I think if you're playing a rogue, you can only play Rogue Boomy Dragon. Weird that Calvis and they're even playing Rogue Boomy Priest. I don't think it's good. This is AWC, yeah. I mean, we lost to Rogue Mage Druid, but RMP is really good for WAS on EU with Outlaw Arcane Arm Priest. I think I might just take the shuffle because this is like a one-sided series anyway. I can just listen to it. Yeah, we lost to Cubsy playing RMD, even though we shouldn't. They're a better team, but we had better comps. I don't know why they're playing RMD, but we just don't have that much practice. Ever do a mission map before? No, I have not. Yeah, my prediction still looks overall right for the finals being a rematch between Liquid and the Pump. Big 400k bite. 270k bite. Got the swap. This is like really low MMR. I haven't played that many games with my Feral yet. I've played only one lobby. So it's gonna take me a couple games, but this last series is just too like one-sided. I don't know what I'm gonna play in Kata mostly yet. Depends who I have to play with. Trying to get to the druid to bash. Or just I mean. Like that. Gonna get the clone though. Try to clone the healer, but I couldn't. Get a meld stun real quick. Leads back on both. Root this guy. Spirit. Remember to stun this guy. I guess I'll skin here. Maybe wall too. Play it safe. PvP is awesome. I mean, I think every expansion's been really, really imbalanced. But I think in general, pre-Legion WoW is much better than post-Legion. CC matters a lot more. AoE is more of an active choice. Big kick on this guy. Kick that. Restun. My WoW DCs. Nice. That was unfortunate. Hopefully I can be okay if I log back in time. We're back. Same round. Overlap kicks. Okay, but I get coiled on it. Hopefully I get a dispel. Nice. I get the frenzy up on this guy. Try to clone the healer. He does a second CS on me. Big string. Pick that. I do a bash. No CS if I get the clone here. Get it? We overlap kicks again. Can bash in 2. Hopefully we don't just die here. Go over and stun the guy in a second. Actually, I can't for a while. I'll renewal here. Should be okay. A rebuff. Wall to aggro. Try to camp bear, but I did lose a lot of momentum by being DC'd half this game. Try to clone the hunter to stop damage. Either of the med kicks. Get the clone. Focused on the druid. Big bite. We barely close it out. DC and still win the round. Holy, that's how you know it's low, Momar. Hopefully I get out of this so I can keep incarning on people. I think my guy's just dead. Try to clone this guy. I get trapped so I don't get my attunement off. One healer before I get feared. JK Angels. Try to clone the IBF. Switch the clone to priest when the angel ends. Somehow my focus macro bugged. At least C-clone too. I'm gonna not get my attunement off though in time. Oh, it sucks. I can still just press it manually though. Then do a meld stun. Then go kick priest in a sec when he casts. Guy's just not casting at all. Try to eat trap. Trying to clone the hunter. He never ever kicks. Have an incarnate in a minute. Try to switch the clone to the other guy. Try to fake kick. Not faking. You just clone his face. Big bite. You need a healer for CC, and then I have a frenzy to win the game. Skinned. Take a little pressure off my healer. Rebuff. Try to clone healer on that. I get it. The healer's getting trapped. I can't eat it. Nice. He just doesn't go for it. My lock still dies. Pick that heal. Yeah. That sucks. At least I didn't lose the round I disconnected. That could have been really bad for me. I mean, it's really low MMR. This is my second ever lobby on Feral. Barely ranges my clone. I'm gonna swap the druid just for pressure. Feel like I'm through wall. Pre-Legion WoW in general or PvP? The PvE experience improved for a lot of people with keys and stuff like that, but keys ruined class design. It should have been a 6-0, but the lock kind of threw one of my rounds. Top 3 PvP expansions. Mop, then Kata, then WoD. WoD is a pretty rough take. I used to put Wrath at number 1, but I don't know, it devolved a lot from what it used to be. And mostly I think Private Service was just a different version of Wrath than what Wrath Classic was. I just hate PvE gear and I hate RNG, but I also like CC mattering in class design. Can't wait for next week's gear though. I'll be able to get 4-set on all my characters. Mop is great, yeah. Asa 4-set is pretty bad, yeah. But it's huge for Outlaw. And it's huge for Holy Priest, and it's huge for Arcane Mage. I gotta gear my DH too, I haven't been capping it. Trying to find some good 2s. Maybe I'll do some viewer 2s while I wait in queue. What's the new set? All these sets like this. I gotta do LFR on this character too. Snowball is like 2 to 4% dam. But it also does like a couple 100k healing in a long game. But that's pretty low too also. Wait, is this rogue boomy? I should not have done that. I don't have sub rogue gear on this character. I don't think outlaw boomy is good. What's up, Razik? Sure, rent, yeah. She makes more than I do, but ADFC games went well. We went 0-3 to Cubsy in them, kind of as expected. We didn't really practice much. Shared CD on Battlemasters? I don't think they did. But I mean, we still got top 8, so I'm okay with that. For not being like too sweaty of a team. All my weak res are in here. So. I mean, I only made like 27k last year, which is kind of bad, but. And my rent is like 1700. Yeah, only one game of this because I don't have sub set up for double DPS right now on this rogue. The only way I can play sub is if I'm playing my Aster rogue that has like dagger and verse mastery gear. And even then, just double DPS is even worse now than it used to be. So it's just not fun to play it. So probably only one game of this. So it's just not playable. My brain didn't know what I was clicking on. My brain thought it was just Rest of Druid 2s. I need to get a re here because I have no Dancer Vanish. Get it. We're both just dead. I got some 2s on my feral instead anyway. What spec should I be practicing for shuffles? Honestly, I wouldn't really recommend Rogue and Shuffle. One of the lesser represented classes for Shuffle. Because everyone knows how to play against a Rogue, but no one knows how to play with a Rogue. And it's just very, very frustrating. Rogue is just for like coordinated tournament play, and like even then, like you're 10 million damage behind everyone else, maybe even 20 million in a really long dampening game. You're just there to do good micro CC and like try to set up a Windwalker or a Boomy to carry. I mean, it's cheaper to gold boost to 70 than it is to buy a boost. Because for like one WoW token, you can literally gold boost like 5 characters, or like 9, I think. I did the math. Not letting me Q2s. How long does what take? Okay. Oh, like a gold leveling boost? A couple hours, not even. If it's 60 to 70, it's like an hour for like 60k gold or something absurdly low. If it's like 1 to 70, I think it's like 2 or 3 hours for like 200k or less. But yeah, for a $60 boost, going 1 to 70 is like 200k, so for 3 tokens you can get like 4 boosts, yeah. But if you're boosting 60 to 70, you can get way more characters leveled for that amount of gold. How do you get boosted? Just look in like LFG chat or like trade chat. Someone will whisper you and you just say offer and see what their pricing is. And they just tag mobs and you just AFK like on top of a building. And you just move your keyboard or something every like 30 minutes so you don't disconnect from being AFK. Sub-Rogue better for twos? No, Sub-Rogue is one of the worst specs in the entire game. Asa and Outlaw are like S tier, even though they don't really do that much damage. Asa can like actually 40-0 people with Kingsbane, but it's still not like the craziest scoreboard as like the real classes, like Ellie and DH and Boomy and Affliction and Shadow Priest and Windwalker. I think I already said DH. But yeah, at least Asa can burst. Not gotten to play yet. Fakes both kicks. Gets another grounding. Still got the clone though. Finally playing the game. Skin. Can't get this guy off me, man. He kicked me on literally air. I'm not even casting it. Kind of far to get that lasso. Can't stop the caps on here. You kick that because I'm not playing decurse. Crazy he doesn't shear there. I can't try to fake like they're good if they're low, because like that was a really late fake. I just have to assume he's bad and not gonna kick. Which link are you looking for? Asa is way easier to play than Pirate. Bait CDs with Deathmark are typically danced? No, not really. You just hold on to Deathmark all game until they ever waste their stops. A lot of times if you give them a reason to like remove your Deathmark, not only did you lose the damage you were doing before the Deathmark you committed, but they'll be able to fit in multiple bleed removals before your next Deathmark too. Like if you give them a reason to like bleed dispel Deathmark, then they can get another bleed dispel for free. Or they might get like 3 mending bandages for free instead of like holding on to it the whole game. Same for like the weird people that try to bleed remove Kingsbane and then you just put up your dots again anyway, because it doesn't actually remove Kingsbane, it only removes your bleeds. And then like they just give you a free Deathmark window. But for the most part you're just holding on to Deathmark all game. It's not always a usable button. I'd say Feral's easier than Rogue, yeah. Yeah, you should be at 3 Catalyst charges on Tuesday. And then you get 1 free tier piece from hitting 1600. So you'll be able to go straight to 4 piece with no good vaults. I think it is 1300 every week this season, yeah. It's just like accelerated because it's a shorter season. Awkward. I didn't get my attunement off. At least he kicked non-clone somehow. Guys to bleeds. Rip and tear, you know. Well, this isn't rip and tear, but the Doom music definitely matches Feral. Just running around one shot and everything. Big damn. Wait, does Real Frenzy double dip with Clone Frenzy? Someone's saying it does, but... I could be pumping harder. Brandon Rudars? Nah. AoE Moonfire pulled me out of stealth on Luckers. I'm not gonna get to him to proc my attunement. Unlucky. Really? I still don't proc this attunement either? Please get me. Wish I had permanent Alkin Frenzy for no reason, that'd be sick. So they're gonna give him precog as a gap closer. I'm a degenerate. That's some Taliesin kicks right there where he used to just literally pick air to proc fucking the mana debuff it had. He has no beam for this. I'll just be a loser and we'll clone him 3 times. Somehow I mistimed that one, unlucky. No point in playing though, because he has Incarn up. 3 thorns there. I don't know why we need to angel form non-incarn while we're AFK. Fuck it, we'll just incarn. We ballin'. There's a bop. Pally kicks me. I probably shouldn't have gap closed the Pally to get in clone range, but that's awkward. Dude, actually just gonna sit a read. Just gotta wait for dampening, Karn. They just love to be so spread out, it's annoying. No beam for this one. Actually, he does have beam. That's awkward. I don't like some of these stuns. Goes like a head incarn really soon for it. I don't need the script either, I don't think. My turn. Another bop. Dude, he just always has beam the whole game. It's so fucking annoying. I did not press kick on Boomy there. I pressed focus kick on Pally and it went on the Boomy. That's weird. Maybe my bear doesn't have the right kick on the bar. Probably dead because of that. I can't kick this rep. Actually just gets to bop every incarn I ever do. I think our stuns are a little weird though. I feel like we just get bop every single incarn. But that should be easy, I think. Because Holy Priest should have infinite mana compared to Pele. I don't even need to try to clone it, honestly. Because I only have Heart of the Wild like once or twice in the game. And he has Alkin Frenzy the entire game. And he's always just going to beam clone or knock clone or stun clone. Or just line it. But I think our stuns were just weird. Maybe try Convoke. I don't like Convoke. I could have done way more damage. There's talents? Nah. Gaps me on that. It's Kiefer's, so I'm just not gonna come out of bear yet. Trying to switch the clone. Nuking through the karma, I don't care. Giga Chad moves. That. Yeah, my focus kick doesn't work in bear form. I definitely fake casted there, but okay game. Wait, I just don't think I can kick in general in there, right? I thought I could. That's weird. The problem with the macro itself, I guess. Might be dead here. Yeah. How you doing, Saruk? My vision is kind of being weird right now. I'm like seeing like a yellow spot. I think he was just trying to do links, so the chatbot got him for links. Only for 15 seconds, but... Later, Emma. It's like really hard to read chat right now. Like my vision is kind of fucking up for some reason. That's good. Kicks out of the way. I'm gonna clone this guy on all of his CDs. Can't really get there to proc my attunement. Gonna DR clone this guy. Not playing decurs. Try to kick out of the way for him. I probably wall here. There's bleed dispel. Okay, fake his kick. On him. He time stops my clone. Bad man. But he's just perma sprinting. Oh nice, I got that one at least. I have Incarn to close out the game kind of soon. Don't have anything for this bash though. For the grounding. I think I'm just dead. Danger form. Like that. I have Incarn really soon. I think I need to take a couple minute break after this game though, and rest my eyes or something. Get some water. Cause that's really weird. It's like dead pixels wherever I'm focusing. Never actually kind of had this happen. Gotta be calm and I'm gonna finish out the game because I'm addicted. Else then when this, we still had 5 seconds left. I also couldn't tell how long nullifying had left. The timer was kind of blurry. Yeah, I need to take a break for a little bit, so maybe I'll do a second stream in a couple hours actually. But I'll come back in like 2 or 3 hours probably. You noob? No, it's just my vision is like being really weird right now. It's like really hard to reach out and to play. I don't know if it's like an ocular migraine or something, but I'll be back in a couple.